Well, the humanitarian crisis in the besieged city of Mariupol is deepening. Russia, of course, is continuing to pound one Ukrainian city after another. Mariupol is in a terrible humanitarian catastrophe. This is a modern city where you can see several of those buildings actually being hit by Russian airstrikes. Shelling is continuous, plumes of smoke continuously rising throughout. Now, Mariupol, of course, is one of the cities which the Russians had asked the Ukrainians to hand over. That was something, of course, which was met with a defiant no from the Ukrainian side, who said that we will not hand over any of our cities. But the assault on Mariupol is continuing, and it is a humanitarian catastrophe in the making. Do remember that millions of people, of course, have already fled Ukraine, but there are others who still remain trapped over there.
This is a conflict which can have global ramifications, and perhaps it's only the first chapter of the war that we are witnessing. While negotiations are really on, there are several cities in Ukraine that have been completely devastated, demolished, turned into rubble. Residential buildings, hospitals, maternity wards, all have been targeted by the Russian troops. So which way is it really headed?
And here's some news in brief now. The US President Joe Biden held a call with European allies ahead of his trip this week to Europe for urgent talks with NATO, as well as Russian forces concentrate their fire upon cities and trapped civilians in a nearly month-old invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine State Service of Special Communications and Information has released a video showing people running away from Freedom Square in Kherson amid shouts of stun grenade explosions and rounds of shots. The leaders of Poland and the Netherlands have discussed further sanctions on Russia for its war against Ukraine. The two prime ministers discussed banning imports of Russian oil and gas and closing European ports to Russian ships.
We will not accept this kind of aggression against a sovereign democratic nation. And these are not empty words. We are showing we are willing to put our money where our mouth is. Take the sanctions we have imposed, which are really hitting the Russian regime at this moment very hard. And of course the arms we are also supplying to Ukraine.
And US military officials have said that Russian offensive has become bogged down in some parts of Ukraine, but Russia has intensified its effort to pound Ukraine's port city of Mariupol into submission.